Great to be joined by one of the legends of the game, the godfather ground and pound, the man himself, Mark Coleman. Mark, really good to talk to you. I wanted to ask you about your time fighting in Asia, fighting in Pride. Can you tell me a little bit about what that was like for you? What do you think made that time so special? Because even today, fans, their faces light up when they talk about that era. Why was that so special for people who weren't there?
Just Japan, the home of martial arts. They love martial arts. The fans were amazing. They had plenty of bankroll to bring in the big name fighters, and I had to fight my way in there. I was coming off 3 straight losses. Don't want to make excuses, but I have reasons. But I knew I wasn't finished. When they brought me in, they didn't necessarily want me to win. They didn't want me to win at all, to be honest with you. They did not want me to win that Pride Grand Prix. They just wanted my name in there. But I like ruining promotions plans, and I was prepared. I just knew I put in like 8 months, injury-free 8 months training. And when Mark Coleman was in shape, when Mark Coleman was prepared, I'm a danger to anybody. I mean, a lot of times I did fight not prepared. It's not an excuse. It's my own fault. I wasn't prepared. But when I am prepared, I show what I can do in the Grand Prix. But Japan was just a special place. You could walk into any bar or any restaurant, and they had Fuji TV, which was like same as ABC here or Fox or whatever. Fuji TV was the big station. That was their main sponsor. And when you have them as your sponsor, they're on TV. They were on TV all day, all night. You walk into a bar and or a restaurant or whatever, and say the manager or whatever would see me and Kevin Randleman walk in there. They got 10 TVs around. As soon as they see us walk in there, all of a sudden they flip one of your fights on. That's kind of cool feeling. All of a sudden you're up there on all the TVs fighting. So that was big, just to have Fuji TV pushing them. And that was their downfall at the same time. When Fuji TV pulled the plug on Pride, because the Yakuza situation, when they pulled the plug because immediately Pride went downhill from there, and they couldn't save themselves. Without a TV contract, you got nothing. But the whole country just seemed to be buzzed. Big buzz from Pride. It was such a huge thing, and then they had all the big names, and first class. Everything was first class. We got taken care of real well. They treated me even though they didn't want me to win, they treated me real well.
What was the response like from the fans when you were walking down the street? You must have gotten a bit of love in Japan after winning that Grand Prix.
Yeah.
What was that like?
The fans are they're special. You know, they see you, they just want to just touch your hand or just touch you, and I went out of my way. I think I'm one of the best with the fans because I love the fans. I'm a fan myself, and I treated them like they were one of me. They were always trying to, after the Pride show was over, the security was the United States military, and they were always begging me, "Come on, Coleman, we want to go home." You know, they were always trying to shove me out of the arena, but I couldn't walk away. You know, the fans were there wanting autographs, they wanted pictures and wanted signed, and I had a tough time walking away from anybody. So they had to shove me out of there pretty good. It was really special.
Do you have a chance now to look back and smile? You know, like 99.9% of the people never step in a ring or in a cage, let alone go to Japan where you can use soccer kicks and win a Grand Prix and become the man over there and you know, in the UFC as well. I mean, but particularly focusing on what you did in Asia. Do you have a chance to look back and smile now?
Oh, most definitely. I didn't appreciate much of anything. I got to wrestle in the Olympics, the World Championships. I got to travel the world, but I didn't appreciate it. I did appreciate it. I just didn't know I did until it came to an end, because I always wanted more. I always wanted more. Since I was a little kid, I wanted to be the best in the world, and I never quite achieved that in wrestling. I took second in the world, but I was empty. I was empty with that, and my wrestling career was coming to an end. But it was just a miracle when I turned the TV on. I seen the first UFC. I kind of just prayed that it was real. I couldn't believe what I was watching. It seemed impossible. It seemed impossible to me that this was really happening, because this is, if they had this when I was a little kid, I would have jumped right in it for sure. Just to revive my career, because I was kind of at the end with wrestling, 30 years old, no money, just fired me back up, and I just shifted gears and started picking it up like I'm going for a gold medal, but I'm going for the gold belt. And there's no cops coming. I can beat 3 dudes up in one night, and the cops aren't going to come arrest me, and they're going to give me a belt. They're even going to pay me to do it. I couldn't believe. I couldn't believe how great it was. I was just so, and yes, now I'm very grateful, very thankful, because I did get to do a lot of stuff, but at the same time, I earned it. I worked very hard to get to where I got.
What was it like in that Saitama Arena? Like, what an iconic venue that was, with the walkouts and everything, and like the quiet fans and everything. What was that like for you walking out there?
Well, I personally didn't care if I fought in front of one person or 50,000 people. It didn't matter to me. I was more focused on the fight, but that did add a lot to it. Just seeing all them fans there, and the fact that they were quiet, it was a big difference from America. Big difference. But I'd like to think that I got them. Sorry about that. Got it.
Got it.
Oh, crap. I like to think that I got them. I like to think that I got the Japanese fans up on their feet a few times, and actually screaming and hollering like some Americans. A few times I was able to get them to do that, and that's a good feeling, to get them to get loud. But it was a respect thing for them to be quiet and listen, and it made it different, because it's kind of like the fights now. No fans there. You can hear everything. You can hear the punches. You can hear the cornerman yelling. You can hear everything. It kind of reminds me of that. But it was. I didn't even realize when I won the Pride Grand Prix. I haven't been known to be much of a coachable guy. I like to coach myself, and I didn't really listen to too many people. I did it all myself, but I did realize that after I could watch the fight, I realized old Pat Militech was on his game. He knew me. He only had like 2 weeks I trained for 8 months, but I went to his place for the last 2 weeks, and he figured Mark Coleman out real quick, and he was calling out the right stuff. I didn't even know I was listening, but after watching it on replay, I was listening to him and didn't even realize it. So it just makes it different, but certainly the big arena and the first class treatment, it was very special.
Could I ask you to pick a favorite fight? I mean, you fought the best and you lost to some of the best as well. Like even some of the ones you lost might you look back now and be like, wow, that was crazy. That was kind of fun, you know? Like what were a couple of your favorites in Asia, in Japan?
Well, 2 of them come right to my head real quick. Number 2 would be the Shogun Hua fight, whereas it was the last fight on my contract. I got a lot of heat that night for, people took it wrong. A fight I'm talking about, when he broke his arm.
Dislocated his arm, yeah.
Well, people said it was a freak accident, this and that, but I say it was a beautiful double leg takedown. And Shogun Hua, he should have never posted his arm like that, because when you post your arm like that, there is a good chance your arm might go the wrong way. And that's what happened. I did that to him. People tried to take it away from me, and I did not know what happened. It was a crazy minute and a half or whatever it was. It was pretty action packed. and all of a sudden it just ended, and I had no clue why it ended. So obviously I was pretty worked up, and my emotions took over because it was the last fight of my contract. They offered me an extension, but the extension was for peanuts. They offered me no cash. So I paid, but they gave me 3 months notice to fight Shogun. And when Japan doesn't want you to win, they give you 3 weeks notice. But I don't think they gave me a chance in hell to beat Shogun. So they gave me 3 months notice, and well, they blew it. Don't give Mark Coleman 3 months notice. And I did see Shogun, and I just felt like I was too big and too strong for him. And I was incredibly confident that day. I would have liked to seen it go the whole fight. It wouldn't have mattered to me. I think I had him that night. I was very confident. I actually called back home and told my parents and my family. I told them a 4-1 dog. I told them, get as much money as you can together and bet it on me, because I'm going to beat this guy. I was extremely confident. I shouldn't have thrown the ref. I didn't mean to throw him, but really, it was so intense at that time. I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't even know what was going on. And then the fight afterwards happened. That was pretty classic. That was a lot of fun. But I'm happy to say
The Fedor fight?
Huh?
The Fedor fight after that?
No. The fight after me and Shogun's fight.
All right.
In the cage, in the ring, the shooter box team.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy to say we all made peace, and we all have a lot of respect for each other, and we're good friends. It was a big fight. I became a free agent after that, and I knew what this fight meant to my career. I mean, I was 42 years old, but I knew when I won that fight, financially, I knew what it meant, because now they should have offered me an extension, because now all of a sudden they need me to fight Fedor in America. But at the same time, Dana White, he wants to ruin their plans. So I had, for the first time ever, I had negotiating power. And I did get paid. I got paid real. They should have offered me a fair extension before that fight. Because of it, I did get paid to fight Fedor. So, and then, well, of course, that was my second big fight over there, Shogun. But my favorite by far was Igor Vovchanchyn. Obviously, the Pride Grand Prix finals. That was a huge fight. Again, Japan, they like to change the rules a lot. Every show they change the rules, and for the Pride Grand Prix, they changed the rules the night before. It was supposed to be a 20-minute time limit. That's another fight that two fights that I was completely confident in my conditioning, was the Grand Prix and the Shogun Hua fight. Those were two fights that I really, really knew I had a gas tank to go forever. And then, but I figured I was going to make it to the finals, and I was going to ground and pound Igor for 20 minutes. I was going to pound him for 20 minutes, and because nothing but respect for Igor, man. It's hard to get him out of there. But then all of a sudden, the night before, they changed it from a 20-minute time limit to a no time limit. It kind of threw my whole plan way off, because I did not visualize. I did not visualize how I was going to be able to finish this guy off. I mean, and I know that guy can fight for hours. Igor can fight for hours. So I really wasn't sure how I was going to find a way to beat him. And you weren't allowed to knee somebody if they were belly down. So that was another thing I like to do, is knee people to the head from north, south. But if he's belly down, you can't knee. Somehow I got him stuck in the corner on his back. And I always like to say, I don't know why he didn't just belly down. I mean, he took 16 knees to the head, 16 knees, and he was not knocked out. I think he had a headache for a while, but 16, he wasn't knocked out. But I always, sometimes I ask, why didn't he just belly down? And somebody gave me the good answer. They said, well, hey, Coleman, when you're getting kneed in the head, sometimes you're not thinking straight, because all he really had to do was belly down, and I would have had to figure out. I didn't know how I was going to beat him. And that was the one way I did see myself beating him, was the way I did beat him. but it took a lot of it. It just worked out. I got him stuck in the corner. I pulled it off. I mean, I pulled it off, or else we could still be fighting, because I was ready to go for a long time. But I know Igor, he can fight for hours.